So that's exciting. And what a profound example of contribution to Canada, as well as the role played by Access in assisting new Canadians and proving that integration and assimilation, settlement and engagement are a two-way street. I'm absolutely delighted to be here, although I wish I had discovered Access 20 years ago when I came as an immigrant to Canada, and I needed Access as well. So you're all very lucky that it does exist today. I'd like to very quickly mention that the first press release that we had my name and a misprint as Raheel Raza, R-A-Z-O-R. And, people have tried to call me by many names, including Rachel, but never Raza. This is a new one, and I sure hope I can live up to be as sharp as the name suggests. So, Sean, if you were trying to wake me up, you certainly have. And this is, gives us food for thought about how names are so important. Names are one of the challenges that are posed to us through a diversity of cultures. And often, people will try and shorten or anglicize our ethnic names without understanding that in some cultures, names have a very strong meaning. And they're a very important part of the identity of an individual. So when someone tries to call me Rachel, I look at them in the eye and say, do I look like a Rachel to you? And so, they'll back off and I'll say Raheel, very simple. You just spell it out and pronounce it. And this is a small perspective of what diversity is all about. But diversity is the new buzzword being used prolifically by our politicians to get votes. But don't be taken in by this whole concept of the ethnic vote. Angie and I were just talking about it. There's no such thing as the ethnic vote. There is only one Canadian vote. And we're all going to vote under that. But coming back to diversity, what exactly is diversity? Diversity is not just a document that your human resources department sends down to say, we have to fill this quota of people of color. Because diversity is not only about the color of our skins. Diversity is about race, about lifestyle, about food, language, sexuality, culture, disabilities, age, dress, faith, and so much more. Now, there are two ways to deal with diversity. Across to the south of us, in the United States, you're either an alien or you're an American, and there's nothing in between. But the better way, and I always had visions of this alien, thinking, what do they look like? But that's how it is. It's harsh, but simple, and that's the way it is. But the better way, the Canadian way, is about accepting and embracing and respecting this multicolored, multi-faith, multi-ethnic, and multicultural mosaic, which is this unique country that all of us call home, and which has this amazing pluralistic foundation. Now, people often ask me, what do you mean when you say pluralism? And the best way to explain pluralism, which is really the foundation of what Canada is all about, is when Bob Hope, the comedian, was once asked, are you a man of faith? And he said, yes, of course I am. I go to church every Sunday. But I also go to a synagogue, a temple, and a mosque, because I don't want to lose out heaven on a small technicality. And now that I have your attention, the question that people often ask is, why is it so important to understand, access, and assess diversity? And perhaps a very quick run-through on some of these statistics from Canada's 2006 ethnocultural mosaic census might help us really understand why it's so important. And I'm sure some of you know that from 2002 to 2006, 1.2 million immigrants entered Canada, increasing Canada's visible minority population by 27.2%. And can anyone tell me which are the top 5 countries where immigrants are coming from, according to the census?